Alrighty, welcome back to the Dr. Jimbo Love Show featuring Patrick the Picker. He's back again, folks, and he's wearing his New York Rangers outfit.
Playoff time.
Right on. Well, tell us a little bit about your week, where you were in town pretty much all week.
In town, playing a little golf, enjoying the weather up till yesterday.
Yep.
Getting ready for playoffs. I did wear my Ryder Cup 2016 hat today.
Yes, you
Try
did.
to keep it changed up for you folks so you don't judge our outfits. Jim's wearing the Carhartt from Callahan.
Yep, and that's because I was in Wisconsin, north central Wisconsin all week, talking to landowners about wind turbines and petting a lot of cows. I posted that picture last week on Instagram. If you guys get a chance, go into Instagram and look under Dr. Jimbo Love Show. Unfortunately, Patrick the Picker does not fit on Instagram's platform, so it's just Dr. Jimbo Love Show. I posted a picture of a 4-day-old Jersey cow. They hadn't named her yet because they're going to give it to a 4-H girl to show, and she's going to get to name her. Some little girl is. But yeah, Carhartt, kind of for the Wisconsin dairyland that I've been living the last 2 weeks. Last week, Masters. What are your feelings on the Masters?
I feel like you've talked about it enough before the show, so let's go ahead and get it out of the way.
We're not supposed to talk like we talked before the show. This is the first time we've seen each other. Oh.
This is how I feel about the Masters.
What is that?
John Rahm.
I totally forgot. What is it?
Brooks Koepka.
Oh, that's right.
Koepka had a Sunday meltdown.
Patrick thought that Brooks Koepka wouldn't choke when I knew.
In fairness to you, I wish you would not have bet me 10. I wish you would have taken that 10 and made it 100 and bet him on the end game on the interwebs.
Jeez, I don't know if I'm going to put this behind glass or spend it. Thank you very much. So yes, I had a funny feeling that John Rahm would come back and win, and it was a pretty big victory for the Rahm contingency out there. I got a chance to see my golfing partner and semi-decent friend Marty, who was there. He's John Rahm's brother-in-law. So, but yeah, it was an interesting end to the Masters. I know this is a week ago, and we talked about it, but Scotty Scheffler was a top pick, and he ended up not finishing that highly. But I thought it was a good overall tournament. What did you think?
Field kind of broke down the last day. Koepka kind of broke down a little bit. Ended up actually tied with Phil Mickelson. So good on Phil. You know, Phil's up or down. You like him, you hate him. He's live. A lot of the live guys fared actually decent. A lot of guys did not fare good as well. There were 18, I believe, total. Even Jordo. So I believe it was Rahm, Brooksy, Phil, and Jordo was the top four. Yep. Going into Sunday, it didn't look like that. The weather played a factor into the whole weekend.
Oh, big time.
The crew did a good job of getting that done and getting it in there. They played teed off on the back nine and also did threesomes today. We were not sure. Saturday they did threesomes, but they got postponed on weather shortly after we talked with you guys about it. But this guy, not going to say I didn't have a good weekend in the betting world, but the personal opinions on this, because he also hit the NCAA Men's Frozen Four game, which was a pretty good size underdog if you look at the actual numbers that Vegas actually let you bet college hockey now, especially the Frozen Four. And I know you had some personal wagers on that as well.
I did.
So good for that. I didn't have any personal wagers on that. We just gave picks. I really like Minnesota. Quinnipiac, though, real fast in overtime. The shot almost surprised the goalie a little bit.
Yes,
that was the end of the game.
Yes, it did. It was quick. Quinnipiac ECAC school, okay, out here, you know, everything's the NCHC, of course, because of DU. So a good respect for the ECAC teams. Cornell, just to let you guys know, my hometown team beat Quinnipiac 4-0 this year, 4-0 or whatever you want to call it. So a lot of people at Cornell were happy to see Quinnipiac win because, in a sense, they get a chance to say, hey, we beat the national champions.
They just, since we started talking about it, I guess, in the, late winter, early fall, whenever you want to start, they were starting to trend at a really good time. December into January into February. And
well, they have an outstanding goalie, and their goalie got hot.
Played good team. I mean, goalies are great.
Yep.
You got to have a team and defense to get behind them and to shut them down into a 2-1 final. Correct?
It was.
So to shut them down 1-1 into regulation against a really good squad and
a team like Minnesota, who just has so many different draft picks. It's interesting. You know, Seth has mentioned, because Seth is a big hockey guru and he grew up in Minnesota, big St. Cloud State fan. He said that, you know, a lot of these guys from Minnesota will probably go pro. Maybe since they lost, they'll come back. It'll be interesting to see how it kind of uncles out. So tell us a little bit what you're clapping about. We got the Yankees versus the Minnesota Twins. Looks like the Yankees just went up 3-0.
4-0.
4-0.
Two things on it. First, we'll start. I was going to throw this at the end. Today's Jackie Robinson Day in all of baseball. It's been all over the news yesterday and especially this morning. ESPN, MLB Network. All players will wear 42 today. This is the only day that any player can wear it anymore. The last one to wear it was Mariano Rivera, and then it was officially retired throughout baseball. Number two is if you don't do it, we play a thing called Beat the Streak. It's almost impossible, but if it's a free game, you go on MLB, the goal is to beat 56. If you beat 56 hits, so you pick a hitter every day, you can pick up to 2 if you want to double down and be risky.
Okay.
So if you pick 2, most of us pick 2 because we're greedy. We want to get there fast. There's only so many games, right? But it's gotten super competitive, and it's actually kind of fun, and it's a group text thing of ours. But it's free to play. If you beat 56 hits, if you can continually pick a hitter, whether it be Aaron Judge or in that situation it was DJ LeMahieu for me, I have 2 hitters today. He's one of 2. If you can get that hitter to get a hit, and if you do 2, you have to have both, or else you lose your streak, then you win $5.6 million. We've been trying for years. To my knowledge, nobody's won it.
That's awesome.
If we get into 10, we think we're doing really well. But to pick a hitter, it's hard. It seems really easy.
Yeah.
But it's hard. So he was one of my beat the streak hitters, as well as we got some parlays and side business going on front and backstairs here.
Good deal.
And it's Yankee baseball. I watch every game.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking over Patrick's shoulder. He has a couple parlays going, a couple 8-legs, or an 8-leg and a 9-leg. 7 and 8. 7 and 8. Oh, okay. I counted wrong.
Won't hit them. They're impossible. People say do them. Get up.
And we've got only probably about 150 more games to go.
Can't wait. I love it. So many. Baseball's back. The warm weather's back, except for Denver yesterday. We had a little snow, a little rain to welcome him back from the 85-degree cow farms up north.
Broke all the records in Wisconsin for 100 years old records and stuff like that for the temperatures. 83, 84, 85, 85 degrees. It was just the cows were sweating.
We kind of had a rough winter though, but somehow we still have a red flag warning, which I can't figure out. But I golfed on Sunday, Easter Sunday, a little frost in the morning, but it was very nice afterwards. Golfed on Thursday, windy but very warm. This week was very warm, and we're expecting to get back to it. So
absolutely,
thankfully we are back into that. Tangent over. Where do you want to start with the main card today?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little NBA, a little NHL. We're going to let Patrick kind of preview some of these series that are coming up. Folks, today is the first day of the NBA playoffs. The playoff series, or the play-in series, is over. We're going to talk a little bit about that, just kind of for some of you guys that may have been busy this week and didn't get a chance to really see what happened. And then we'll feature some of the different series and get Patrick's inside info and betting on some of these series that are going to be happening. So it's an exciting time. You know, this is game 1 of the NBA series.
Is this technically considered the second round now? Kind of like the NCAA just went to 68 and they consider that the second round now?
Maybe, you know, but
it's got to be.
Yeah, if they call it game, you know, it's game 1, and 7 and 8 have been figured out in the rankings. Then we're going to go in and talk a little bit about the NHL. Their series start tomorrow and Tuesday, game 1.
Monday.
Or is it Monday? Monday. My bad. Monday and Tuesday.
Tuesdays are going to start the series, and they'll pretty much play every other day, depending what happens. If some of these go to game 4 or 5, or see what they do.
And then lastly, we'll talk just a little bit about Monday night's WNBA Draft. We made some picks last week based on some information that I had gathered. We were pretty close to what we thought was going to happen. And what ended up happening, a couple women went a little lower than they thought, and a couple went a couple higher. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's start out with Tuesday's game. We had 2 games. We had the Hawks, Heat, Timberwolves, and Lakers. The Hawks Heat ended up 116-105. Timberwolves, Lakers ended up in an overtime game, 108-102. Lakers win. Wednesday, Bulls, Raptors, 109-105. Bulls win. The nightcap was the Thunder, Pelicans, New Orleans. That was 123-118. Thunder wins. Friday, the elimination games, playing for the 8th seed. Bulls played against the Heat, 102-91. The Heat win. And the Thunder, Timberwolves, 120-95. Timberwolves crush the Thunder, and the Bulls and Thunder go home. So you have the 8th seed playing against number 1. Now, today, the first game that's already underway and is at halftime right now is the Nets, number 6, versus the number 3 seeded 76ers. I feel the 76ers are going to win that. What do you feel about that game since we watched the first half before coming on air?
Before we get there, so Tuesday was Playin Games, right? Hawks, Heat, Timberwolves, Lakers, correct?
Yep.
Lakers came way back in that game. They were down, I remember, 16 or 17. Okay. Buddy told me to do a money line parlay. I thought he was nuts. They ended up winning in overtime by 6. Tuesday and Wednesday, all the underdogs in all 4 games covered. All 4 games. Then you go to yesterday, and the Heat easily covered 5-point favorites, won by 11. And Timberwolves, they won by 25. They were 6.5-point favorites.
I know, but you know those play-in games on Tuesday and Wednesday, the favored people, and I bet a lot of money line when it comes to basketball. 3 out of the 4 money line favorites lost in that initial round of games.
I'll give you what I think is interesting today. So 76ers and Nets is already at half. We got 67-58.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sixers are 8.5-point favorites, so big favorite at home. Celtics showing 10-point favorites, double-digit favorites.
Yeah, this is Celtics Hawks. It's number 2 Celtics versus number 7 Hawks.
That's the next game today.
Go ahead.
Cavs are minus 5.5 at home against the Knicks.
Number 4 versus number 5. Cavs being number 4.
And then the Kings and Warriors. The Kings, like I said last week, be careful with them. Warriors will be big favorites at home. But given the Kings' respect today, minus 1.5 at home against the Warriors.
Interesting. I went with the Warriors.
It might be a good bet. It always goes one way or the other, right? Yeah. That's the old cliche. But I will take the Kings at home. That place is going to be bonkers tonight. So if we're doing quick pick'ems, Kings for me. I'll take the Knicks plus 5.5 at home. Oh God.
What do you think about the Hawks Celtics?
10's a lot of points, but it's the NBA. I mean, playoffs.
You can do money line if you want. I did money line. I did a money line.
If you bet the Hawks, if you bet the Celtics money line, you might as well put $5 up to win a couple cents. That's essentially what's going to come down to.
Sure. But if you do a parlay, then it kind of plays out.
The Hawks have played. So they played on Wednesday. No, they played Tuesday. I mean, the mind says take the Celtics minus 10. The heart says it's playoffs, take the plus 10. I got no real feeling.
10's a lot of points, man.
10's a lot.
That's a lot of points in a basketball game. And especially a game 1.
And I think the Nets are keeping this one close enough. It's 9 points, it's 8.5. I'll get you an in-game line right now. I have a feeling those 2 series, though, Vegas has those big odds. I do think that Philly's going to end up cleaning house on them. I think the Nets can make a little run, but I just don't think they're anywhere near good enough. And I think that the Celtics,
it could be a sweep.
Could be short and sweet.
No. Yeah, I did a little parlay. I just picked the favorites. I did 76ers, Celtics, Cavs, and Warriors. And it's like 1-3 basically. So you bet 10 and you end up winning 31 or whatever it was. But yeah, for me and my nice humble little budget, we'll see what happens.
So showing 10.5 in game at halftime, so a couple points more than what you were biting off at the beginning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those first two games weren't my favorites. The next two today, the Knicks and the Sacramento, I got more of a feel. -1 on FanDuel right now.
Okay.
For the Kings.
Interesting.
Both the Kings made in the playoffs this year, Sacramento and the LA Kings.
If I lose this parlay in the first 3 games somehow, I think I'll go heavy. And when I say heavy, it's $20. I may go with the Kings. Go down there.
Take my 10.
I'm going to take your advice, Patrick, and see. So, all right. Well, Sunday we've got 4 different games. Kickoff is the number 7 Lakers versus number 2 Grizz. Number 8 Heat versus number 1 Bucks. Number 5 Clippers versus number 4 Suns. And number 8 Timberwolves versus our number 1 Nuggies. Gotta love the Nuggets. Tell me a little bit of what your thoughts on these series. Start out with the first one.
T-Wolves going to need their big man to play well, or else it could be a short and sweet series. I like the Nugs in this. Clippers, Suns. I guess we could break down each game and then the series.
Well, if you want to break down the games or however you feel the overall series is going to be, because this is just kind of the preliminary.
Lakers are on the road +3.5 at Memphis. And I was kind of saying, I don't know if this would be a good matchup for Memphis.
Right.
I see this series going deeper. Definitely 5, if not 6 or 7. Memphis needs to be worried. As much as people hate the Lakers and whatever, they've been kind of trending at the right time. Anthony Davis has been playing well.
Yep.
Whether you like LeBron or not, he's still in the lineup, and their bench is a much different team than the previous years. I'm going to take the Lakers in the series. Tonight's 3.5. Memphis is going to be crazy because, again, everybody hates the Lakers unless you like the Lakers. Right. So there'll be a bonker crowd. I'm going to take the Lakers in the series, though. +3.5 tonight. I don't know. I would wait to in-game that one. That's my only feel on that. Bucks 9.5 over the Heat. Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks, and then
I think I take the points on the Bucks. The Heat.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I'm taking them in a short and sweet, not more than 5, maybe.
The only thing
if
I
it
can
goes
think
6,
of,
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, the Bucks Heat. The only thing I can think of is the Heat have played 2 games, so they have a little bit of momentum going. But the Bucks are so good, they really are.
Suns -7 tonight. I'm going to take the Suns in 6 or less games. I do think the Clippers get 1 or 2. Phoenix crowd is going to be hot tonight.
Yeah.
-7 might be the bet on that home game. I kind of like this conference home games more, a little in the openers than the other one. The only team I think about taking on the road is the Lakers, but that's just how the Lakers are.
Sure.
The last game is the Nuggets -7.5. I'm taking the Nuggets, and I'm going to take them in the series. And I think again it's 6 or under, 5 maybe or under. Yeah. Short and sweet.
Nuggets fans are excited here in Denver. The people are buying tickets left and right. It'll be a sold-out venue.
At the MVP.
Absolutely.
They play good team ball, play a little defense when they want to play defense. Good coach. Coach been doing well for a few years.
Yeah.
They're kind of the underscore because the Avs won last year.
Right.
And they're kind of trickling in as a real nice looking team coming in. And your Avs are kind of trending in this town at a very hot right time. I think could also do well in this year's Cup Finals.
I've heard some people call the Timberwolves the Timber Koi Dogs. I tend to call them the Koi Dogs to myself. Koi dogs are wild dogs that go run deer and you have to shoot them. So that's what a lot of people are.
I took it. I know this one.
I better stop right there.
One.
We aren't going to shoot dogs, okay? Not on this show. But anyways, well, good. So
the only Wolves I'm rooting for right now is the Ice Wolves out of Albuquerque, who beat Oklahoma City, trying to keep alive in the junior hockey.
Well, good job. I like that. Good parlay. I love that.
Other than that, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the T-Wolves. If they win, it'd be really, really good time. Yeah. After Jim just made fun of them, especially.
All right, let's talk about our featured beer here. It's a local beer out of Colorado from a brewery that's been around since the 1800s. I believe 1884, around that area. You guys can fact check me. But it's from Tivoli Brewing Company, which those of you that have gone to Metro State or CU Denver know the campus well and know that the brewery is right there on your campus. The Tivoli has been a very well-respected brewery for many years, and this is called Outlaw. It's a lighter beer, as you can kind of see the hue here. Let me take a sip of it and see if I can describe it to you. It's got a taste kind of like Mick Ultra, but a little bit better finish than the Mick Ultra. A kind of beer that you could drink all day long if you wanted to, if you were sitting next to a pool. And then we should also mention that we are broadcasting here live from the shops at Northfield, Brothers Bar and Grill. Folks, if you're in the area, come on down and join us. We are just north of I-70. Again, we are in the shops at Northfield, as they call it. But when you're driving down I-70, if you look over and see Bass Pro Shops, the Harkin Theater, we are right there. Come on in and check us out. We've got 26, not 62, 26 TVs. We thought it was 62 last week.
I don't know what he was drinking last week.
I went around and counted them.
Some a lot darker than that thing.
Yeah. Yes. And yes, the horse races last week, Patrick. Let's talk a little bit about some of the fun that we had here at Brothers Bar and Grill, betting on the horse races.
Yeah, we didn't really hit any big prices, but we definitely hit some horses.
You picked some winners.
Yeah.
2 out of 4.
Yeah, we had some big cash on them, thankfully, so those are nice ones. The one thing that you had just left, I believe, but one of the things that I saw last week was at the Wood Memorial, a very big upset at the Wood Memorial. I believe 70-1 came in, and we'll be going to the Derby, and if you could have seen the connections to that horse, it's lifelong dreams. These guys are in the business. They're not big names, all of them, and to win a race of that caliber, get the points and the money, and be able to ship your horse in as well as the horse as well. That was a cool thing, but
very good.
We definitely hit some good ones last week.
Oh, it was fun. I had so much fun.
That's nice.
I hadn't bet horse races with Patrick, and you could go in and bet $2 and $3 and $4 and exactly
10 cents.
We had so much fun.
You bet a 10-cent super almost every race.
Yep.
Minus small field, small tracks.
That was cool.
But yeah, we were betting at Keelan, Aqueduct, which is the New York Racing Association. They'll move on to the Belmont eventually, but right now that's where the Wood Memorial was at. Keelan was the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes, as we mentioned. And our last one was the Santa Anita Derby, and that's in Arcadia, California, right outside of LA. And yeah, most of the races were chalky. We were on them though, and then right after you left, I did not bet the Wood, and a very big price came in. So maybe it was a sign.
Right on. All right,
I'd rather be on the 73-1 though with the big money.
Let's move over to Patrick's favorite subject. Well, one of his favorites. We were just talking about one of his favorite subjects. NHL playoffs. Okay, so it's all set. The NHL season is over, and we can talk about Mondays and Tuesdays first round games. First game 1, we have the Islanders versus the Hurricanes. What are your feelings on that? Let's just take them one by one and break them down.
Islanders trending in a good direction towards the end. I think it's going to be a battle. Canes are a good team, but these guys know how to close down the neutral zone if they need to. I see this going 6 or more. I do see the Hurricanes coming out. I'll try to give you some live odds as we speak right now for the actual series. I don't know, maybe bias. I don't know. I just Canes over the Isles. I do think it'll be a battle. 6 or 7. I'm going to go with the Canes. Rob Brendamore actually was live and in person for the Quinnipiac game because he was an alum over there. Okay. And a very nice moment between him and the old coach when Quinnipiac, or him and the current coach when Quinnipiac won at the end of that. But right back to business for him. The favorite in the series is Carolina minus 192 If you get the Islanders, you get them at plus 158 on FanDuel right now. I do see 6 games or more, and I see Carolina. They got 2 great goaltenders, great overall team. Not trending as well as they did last year, but I think a good playoff team.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. I'm going to pick the Hurricanes for the series. Next up, we've got the Panthers versus the Bruins, and Bruins, of course, are just out of their mind good this year.
Well, they just set the record for most points in the year, most wins. That's a lot of weight to live on your shoulders. I do think they get through this series. I think they get pretty handily. I don't think Panthers are a terrible team, but they are a good team. 5 maybe. Bruins in 5 if it goes.
So
6.
it won't be a sweep. You don't think that? You think they'll take a loss?
Sweeping in hockey stuff.
It really is. I agree.
It's tough. It's the hardest playoff, as we talked about last week. Everything is 7 games, and this is when it becomes a grind.
Yes.
This is when you don't see as much of the ticky-tacky stick stuff. You see the body and a lot of hits and taking shots for the team and everything.
Well, the great thing is too is they don't give them the big break like the NBA does. These guys play, sometimes back to back, but they only get maybe a day off in these series.
Yeah, it'll be mostly every other day, depending on how late in the series these go. Because the NHL does not want them lingering on forever.
Right.
It's a long playoff, and they do want to get them off before summer comes. Bruins minus 350 in the series. Florida Panthers plus 276. Bruins in 5 or less.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Bruins as well. Wild Stars. Wild versus Dallas Stars.
I'm going to go Wild for my buddy Kearney. That's just a homer pick. I'll get you the live odds here right now. Wild are plus 108, Dallas Stars minus 130. The Wild just haven't trended in a really good direction lately. They did get Kaprizov back, which they're going to need. Hopefully they can turn it on. Not scoring as much as they normally have. So they're going to need to kind of turn the corner here real fast. That's a homer pick, not a brain pick. Homer pick, Wild. Plus 108, Dallas Stars minus 130 for the series.
Excellent. Kings Oilers.
This one to me is a sneaker, okay?
I know.
Plus 184 for the Kings, minus 225 for the Oilers. My buddy Joel in LA, season ticket holder. Again, going to be a little bit homer, but I followed him. There are a couple other guys that have kind of been a little banged up at the end of the year. They gave a little rest, so they're going to need them to come out and play. One of my fantasy players, especially. I don't see this being an easy series. If this ends in 4 or 5, either way, I'd be shocked. I'm looking at 6 or 7. I think this is going to be a hell of a series. Both teams play very fast. I do not know how much defense we're going to have. The Kings got a goaltender at the deadline. Both goaltenders have been playing really well going in. Edmonton always seems to be on tilt to watch in the playoffs. I'd be on tilt to watch. I'm going to take the Kings plus 184, a little bit of a homer pick as well. I just think that they have enough to get it done against Edmonton, but the problem with Edmonton is they are good. They have arguably the best player in the world. They have arguably the best power play unit in the world. And they know how to score. Are they going to play enough defense? How's the speed going to turn out? Is LA going to come in healthy?
Excellent. All right.
It's going to be a good series.
And we'll move into Tuesday's games. We've got the Rangers versus the Devils, and we've got one of the biggest Ranger fans we've got here.
The honest opinion is Igor's playing better, which is good. I wish they would score at a better clip. They made all these trades, and they just haven't seemed to really. They're finding their lines and gelling better. They need to do a lot more on the defensive side, a lot more back check. Maybe some of these older players like Kane and Tarasenko that they got are saving it for the playoff run.
I bet you'll see Kane really step up. He's too good a player not to. And you're right, he's older.
They're healthy. They're healthy at the moment for the most part, which is good. That can change real fast in a playoff series.
Right.
They need to be more physical. But the Devils are kind of a similar team in a sense. They've scored a lot this year. They're a very talented team. The one thing you're going to take away from this series compared to most of these, and especially like the last game we mentioned, and one of them that we're going to mention coming up, these guys live in the Jersey, New York City metro area. Nobody's got to take a flight anywhere.
Yep.
So these guys' wheels and travel and should be a lot more paired compared to when LA's got to go to Edmonton and vice versa. They're going to have to not only clear customs, they're going to have to fly, just like the Tampa Toronto series we talked about.
I'm going to let you cover those last 3 series. I'm going to run down.
Perfect.
And meet the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Lightning and Leafs. This last series just ended up last game. They played one of the last games against each other. It was a rough one. They both roughed each other up. They were not very happy with each other. So I see this as a battle, a physical series. You have a very veteran Lightning team going in against a very talented, a lot of moves made, and you know they want to win in Toronto. They want to win in Toronto. The Lightning have been winners. I do see this series coming down to Toronto winning. I see this as 6, maybe 7. I just see that the Lightning are just not as good as they've been in previous, but they are a team that can turn the playoffs around. They can turn it around way fast. I'll get you the lines for the last 2. The Rangers for the series was plus 105. And the Devils for the series is minus 126. That's one of our closest matchups we have. The East seems to be a lot more close because this matchup as well. Tampa plus 126 and the Toronto Maple Leafs minus 152. I think the Leafs take it 6, maybe 7. Physical, old school style hockey, big teams, physical teams, and you could see one of these teams who comes out of this make a deep run. 2 more series, Jets, Golden Knights, and Seattle Kraken, and the Avs both are coming out of the West. The Winnipeg Jets are plus 138. The Vegas Knights are quietly one of the best teams in hockey somehow, minus 166. That place gets pretty crazy during the playoffs. I wouldn't bet against the Jets, but I do feel like this could be another 6, maybe 7. I think we're going to have a lot of tight series. I'm going to lean, but I'm going to lean softly on the Knights, 6, maybe 7. And the last series is the home team here, Avs against the Kraken. Kraken in their second year, plus 190. Problem is they're going against an Avs team that seems to really, they got healthy, they're gelling. I think we're going to see a lot of goal scoring in this series. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of defense. I want to give the Kraken the benefit of the doubt. I do think that they take maybe 2 games. Wait till they come back to that crowd in Seattle. They're going to be juiced. But I really don't see this going more than 6. I think the Avs get a good draw in the first series. They play fast. Seattle plays fast. Not a lot of defense either side, but I think it's going to benefit the Avs. Gorgie's been playing pretty good for the Avs. They stout a little better defense.
Right. Just to mention, out of the Golden Knights, Las Vegas, a friend of mine from high school is a season ticket holder, and I got a little insight from him.
At T-Mobile?
For Vegas.
T-Mobile.
Oh, is it T-Mobile?
Yeah,
okay.
T-Mobile.
And for Timothy out there, Timothy Leonard, a good guy, 1985 graduate from North Valley High School. I see pictures all the time, and I'm going to call you up and get an insight from you and see what you think of this series.
They've just been sneaky and quietly good this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how, but young team. I guess after last year, I don't know.
Well, excellent. Well, very good. Good job with your analysis. I love it. Sorry about that, folks. Sometimes
we're switching it up around here. We're not going to be as tight angle. You got to take the lead. Got to make a text or a call. Make a bet. Got to get off the air.
Yep. Let's talk real quick a little bit about the WNBA Draft. I know it's not something that's your favorite in the world, but
I just don't have the knowledge like you do. He follows the women's game a lot more, and
we do it for our female audience out there, and we want to thank you guys for your comments and for watching women, because we always try to dedicate a portion of our show towards you so that you don't feel left out, because there's so few sports coverage with women's athletics. But anyways, last week we went through our proposed draft, and we were pretty close. Our source was a very good source. let's just go down with what actually happened Monday night, and let's remember that these women have to turn around on April 19th. They start training camp, okay, and then they start their season towards the end of this month. So it's not very long. It's, I think, May 19th they start their season. So it's only a 3 or 4 week preseason for them. Aliyah Boston, South Carolina center. She was expected to go number 1. She did go number 1. Indiana Fever picked her up. She's the center. She didn't have a great statistical year this year, but that's because South Carolina was playing 12 women, and there just wasn't enough time. She was only averaging 25 minutes a game. So, folks, she should be very well rested, and Indiana should be happy about that. Number 2, we predicted Diamond Miller would go second from Maryland. She did. She's a guard. She went to the Minnesota Lynx. Number 3, Maddie Seacrest out of Villanova. Forward goes to the Dallas Wings.
She's not related. Did we figure that out?
We figured it out. Now, Dallas Wings gets 3 picks in a row here. So this is the 3rd overall pick. They get the 4th overall pick. They took the center, Stephanie Swartz out of Iowa State. Goes to Dallas Wings. Number 5, Lou Lopez Senchel goes to Dallas as well. She's out of UConn. Again, we picked that one as well. Haley Jones out of Stanford goes to the Atlanta Dream. She's a guard forward and the number 6 pick. Number 7, Grace Berger out of Indiana University. She is a guard. She goes to the Indiana Fever, so she doesn't have to go very far. As we said last week, she will be basically in Indianapolis. Letitia Amethier from South Carolina ended up jumping up and going in the top 10. She's a forward. She goes to the Atlanta Dream. Number 9, Jordan Horston, a guard, goes to the Seattle Storm. She's out of Tennessee. And then last, top 10, Zaya Cook. Remember, she has all those Instagram followers and social media followers, making a lot of NIL money. She goes to the LA Sparks. And let's look at last week and see what we had. We had basically Jordan Thorsten was predicted to go 5th. She went 9th. Dorka Jurseski, she went 16th. We picked at her at 8. Seattle Storm Zaya Cook, we thought she would go 10. She went 9. And then Lou Senegrau went 5th when we said she would go 10.
How did Dallas get 3 picks in the first round in a row?
I don't know. Maybe they traded up or something like
trades?
that. I don't know.
From this year and previous years.
Yeah. You don't normally see 3 picks in the top 10, so they may have given up some women. We'll do some research and let you know next week. Other than that, what else you got for us?
We mentioned Jackie Robinson in baseball. You got to mention the Devil Rays. They finally lost their first game to start the year to the Jays last night, so they were 14-1 to start the year. The Pirates actually started the year pretty well.
My Pittsburgh Pirates.
The problem is that for you Pirate fans out there, you've already seen O'Neal Cruz break his ankle, and then it turned into bench clearing. There was not a brawl, but bench clearing. So that is a tough loss for one of their best young players. But yeah, the standings are pretty interesting to start the year. The weather has been pretty decent. We haven't had a whole lot of snowouts or anything crazy, which is good.
Right.
I think we all had enough winter pretty much everywhere. So I stand corrected. 13-1. It was 14th game that the Rays lost to the Jays. The Twins have come out the gate 10-4. The AL Central, pretty even, 8-7, 6 wins. The A's not looking like a very good team. The Braves came out pretty well. Brewers came out well. And you know who's actually been the surprise in the West is the D-backs. And I don't think if you listen to a lot of the analysts on MLB or anything, I just watch MLB Network. I don't think people think they're going anywhere. Good young team. They took care of LA. If you look right now, though, going into today, Dodgers 7-7, Padres 7-8, Giants 5-8. So pretty much the teams that have been the top the last few years, not off to a very hot start. The Rockies 5-9. Some people think it could be a long year for them again.
Oh, big time! I think the Rockies lose over 100 games this season. They started out so well, 2-0, and people were starting to talk here a little bit, and then they lost basically 4 of the next 5 games. But hey, folks, it's a long season, 162 games. But it's kind of good to just get an idea of exactly what's going on right off the bat. Folks, we're at Brothers Bar and Grill at the Shops in Oakfield. I was just informed that they will have the MLB package, correct?
Yeah.
Patrick pushed pretty hard for that. Do we have a little update over here? We have an update with the Yankees and Minnesota Twins. Go ahead, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Looks like they scored a run.
They brought King in, the reliever, and right away we're already giving up runs, as I always like to. The one thing I was going to touch on before we close out for all the Denver folks out there is that Kyle Freeland's actually gotten off to a good start. Lefty, played in the World Baseball Classic.
He's a local kid. He went to Thomas Jefferson High School, graduated. He's a homegrown kid.
So like to see him do better. And Daniel Bard, who also played in the World Baseball Classic, a part of a couple people on the IL in baseball with anxiety. So I think you're seeing mental health become a little different issue in the MLB ranks. And here comes another run unless they hold him up. But that's pretty much all I have in the baseball world. It's a long season. We'll keep you informed with the big day. Happy Jackie Robinson Day.
Yes, happy
Obviously,
Jackie Robinson
big day around everybody with their 42s on today.
Yep.
Nice coverage of everything last week, and that's all I got.
Excellent. Well, folks, we want to thank you for tuning in. Thank the LinkedIn crowd, all the different divisions in the LinkedIn crowd for watching. Folks, feel free to suggest any kind of topic you want us to discuss. Again, we're kind of in just kind of a holding pattern right now because we're waiting a lot for the NBA, the NHL's playoff series to start. MLB is kind of early on, and we're 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away from the Kentucky Derby. First week in May.
First Saturday in May.
First Saturday in May. Folks, we want to thank you very much. Come on down here to Brothers Bar and Grill. Come check us out. Lots of good comfort food. As we say every week, get out there on your side hustle and earn it. Or start betting like Patrick does and win lots of money. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week.